and I'm going to talk about it until I'm literally blue in the face. Hey everybody, my name is Jackie. Welcome to my channel. Here we are talking a whole lot about self-care. So if you're not even into self-care, if you don't want to hear about it, then you can go ahead and find the door now because we're talking about it here. Of course, I'll talk about other things like staying alive, skincare, travel, all of the things that people really, really like to watch, including myself. But I don't want to make any mistake about it. I'm talking about self care for the most part. So if that's not something that you're interested in, I'm sorry, but you can find the door because I feel like it's so important. A lot of people were talking about self care. It's catchy, it's the trendy, it's, the thing everybody wants to talk about. But from my observation, we're talking about the wrong part, or we're putting emphasis on the wrong part of self care. What do I mean? It only takes a Google search or a YouTube search to find out what most people think self care is. And we're talking solo dates, we're talking massages, we're talking about facials, we're talking about shopping, we're talking about girls' trips, we're talking about all the fun things, right? Those things are amazing, and I'm here for all of them. However, self care is much, much more than that. In fact, self care is so important to me that I came up with my own definition of what I believe self care to be. Self care, according to me, is a consistent practice of nurturing your mind, your body, and your soul so that they continue to develop in a healthy, natural, and balanced way. Now, what does that mean? Okay, what does that really mean? It means that self care is multifaceted, right? It's not just about doing the things that make you feel good, but sometimes you have to do the things that doesn't make you feel good, the things that require a lot of thought, the things that require action, the things that require soul searching so that you can continue to develop in a healthy, natural, and balanced way, right? So sometimes, what does that look like? Okay, so it could look like having a tough conversation with someone that may have hurt you. It could look like drawing boundaries, right? Or enforcing boundaries. It may look like going to counseling. I don't know why there's such a stigma about counseling, but counseling can be great if you find the right fit for you. It may look like saying no and not giving a reason, right? Not feeling like you have to give a reason for your no. Those are all ways that self-care can be beneficial to you beyond what feels good. Self-care for each one of us is very, very individual. Self-care can look different from month to month. It could look different from week to week. It could look different from day to day. It could even look different from moment to moment. The key is to stay consistently in touch with yourself and to do consistent check-ins with yourself to see how you're feeling in the moment. What worked for you yesterday as a form of self-care may not work for you today because it's a completely different day with completely different circumstances. So you may have to adjust accordingly. What that might look like is yesterday you may have had a tough day at work and you may be anxious. So you may need to go to the gym. You may have needed to go to the gym yesterday to do a little cardio, do a little punch bag or whatever to get that aggression out. Today may just be a little bit mentally draining. So today a good book or writing an entry in a journal could be the thing that you need to get you back up and running again, so to speak. So now that we know what self-care is and how it could look from day to day and that it's not shallow, I can give you 10 tips that I came up with. Now I have a whole lot more, but for the purposes of this video, I'm only going to give you 10 tips that will really elevate your self-care. So what I'm going to do is give you 10 things that you can use and you can start implementing immediately to keep your cup full. The first thing that I want to start off with is discovering or living in your purpose. Now, it took me a long time to discover what my purpose was. Okay, I've read books, I have talked to people, I've prayed, and I just seemed like I could never find out what my purpose was. What I had to do was really do some soul searching. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to define what purpose is. And of course, I came up with my own definition for that either. Also, because I just feel like I want to make sure that it's clear on what purpose is. Purpose is the way in which you use your specific gifts and abilities to give back to your community. So some of us have glaring gifts and abilities, right? You're talking about your people that can sing. You're talking about people that can dance, the artists, the musicians, your doctors, your lawyers, your mechanics, your all of these people that you can, within 30 minutes of talking to them, you know exactly who they are, what they love, what they're good at and what they do, right? But there's a whole host of others like me who maybe can't quickly identify what they might be good at. So I had to do some digging. And so I want to do a little exercise with you. If you will indulge me, grab a piece of paper and a pen. I want you to write a couple of questions down. And then maybe we can start to uncover what your purpose may be. And a quick note about purpose, it doesn't have to be just one thing. You can have multiple purposes or multiple gifts and abilities that you can use to make the world a better place. First question I want you to answer is, what are you naturally good at? Second question I want you to ask yourself is, what can you talk endlessly about for hours to anyone that's willing to listen? The third question I want you to ask yourself is, if you could do anything for free, if money were no object, what would that thing be? The fourth thing I want you to answer or write down is, what do you constantly think about? And the fifth thing I want you to write down as a question is, what brings you joy? Now, there may be multiple answers to these questions, but I want you to kind of see what consistently appears as an answer to those questions. Therein, you will be able to find your purpose. And so now that you know what your purpose is, then you can go ahead and figure out how you can use that purpose to make the world a better place. I do want to interject here and leave a book that might also help you called A Purpose Driven Life. It is by Rick Warren, and it is a really, really good book that you may want to read after you answer those questions or before you answer those questions, to just kind of help point you in the right direction about your purpose as well. So again, number one is to find your purpose and live in your purpose. Number two is to read a book. I have four really, really close friends, and out of those four friends, only one is an avid reader like myself. That's okay, because there's Audible. No, Audible is not sponsoring this channel yet, but Audible is a great way to read while you're getting other things done. So whether you're cleaning the house, you're at the gym, you're taking a walk, you're driving, if you take a few moments to listen to an audio book that's on like self-development, self-improvement, something like that, it's guaranteed to elevate your mind, elevate your thinking, have you thinking, maybe differently than you were before, and it'll put you on a good path to self-improvement. Number three is to maybe take a local class in something that you're interested in, something that you want to learn, because learning new things sharpens our skills. It sharpens our brain, our mind, and it keeps those neurons, and don't quote me, but firing. And so it arguably, learning new things, learning new skills, arguably goes a long way in preventing Alzheimer's. The fourth thing you can do to elevate your self-care is to volunteer. You can volunteer at a shelter, you can volunteer at a hospital, a library, or at a cause that you believe in strongly and support. There's just something about donating your time to help make other people's lives better that really is, there's just no feeling like it. So when we're talking about mental health, we're talking about emotional health and connection. Volunteering goes a long way to helping you elevate your self-care. So I would, Google, simple Google search, where can I volunteer in my area, will turn up, I'm going to say probably dozens of places where you can volunteer. If you really, really want to volunteer, you can find where your particular skills and abilities can be useful near you. I'm going to tie 5 and 6 together. 5 would have been is setting boundaries, and 6 is learning how to say no. They both are really bundled together. You want to set boundaries with people. Setting boundaries could look like, hey girl, I love when you come to see me, but from now on, can you call ahead of time, or can we schedule it so that, I can make sure that I'm available to talk to you, because I just love when we spend time together, or something along those lines. When you set boundaries with people and with yourself, it actually teaches people how to treat you. Nobody's going to enforce boundaries, right? If you let people walk all over you, then they're going to walk all over you. But if you set boundaries and firm boundaries and you hold to those boundaries, you'd be surprised at how people adjust to your boundaries, and not in a negative way. Also, saying no. You can say no to people without offering an explanation. And I want you to know that that's okay. What could that look like? Okay, let me give you an example. Hey, Jackie, I'm having a party on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Would love it if you can make it. Jackie, thanks, girl. I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to make it, but make sure you let me know if you have another one. that I could possibly attend. Thank you so much for keeping me in mind, or something like that, right? Number 7, filter your social media. You have to be careful about what you let into your eye gates and your ear gates. Everything that you see is not good for your mental and your emotional health and your spiritual health. So you have to really, really be careful. There's a lot of stuff I cut out to make sure that everything that I was allowing in was positive and was that put me on a path of self improvement and self development and put me at peace. My peace, if you know me, you know that my peace is priceless, and I will cut anything and anyone off that does not add to my peace. I'm too old to allow people to disrupt my peace. So I don't do drama. I don't do, back and forth. I don't do anything like that anymore. Back in the day, I was all game for it, but not anymore. Like, if it makes me uncomfortable, if you are making me second guess myself, if you are draining me, then I will cut you off without explanation. I mean, we can talk about it, but you got to be ready for that conversation, because I will let you know exactly what's going on, because I just don't believe in sugarcoating. I do believe in being kind. And I feel like you can say whatever, to people, as long as you do it with class and with grace. So I would always do that. But I don't have a problem with cutting people out of my life that are not benefiting me in some way. Number 8, we did talk about this a little bit earlier, I believe. Maybe that was the other take of this video I did, because I realized that my microphone was not on, and I recorded a whole 30-minute video and the microphone wasn't on. So I don't know if I mentioned it in this video or that one, but I wanted to say, get some rest. Okay, when we're cranky, when we're sleep deprived, we can't possibly give our best version of ourselves to other people, because we're just sleep deprived. Whatever amount of sleep it takes for you to feel like you are at your best is what I want you to aim for. Scientists say that between 6 and 8 hours of sleep is sufficient. Some of us need less, some of us need a little bit more. Only you know what you need to make sure that you are at your optimal energy level. So whatever that is for you, make sure that you get it and make it a priority every night, because things happen during the day that's out of our control. And if we're starting the day off and we're tired and we haven't had enough rest, that's a recipe for disaster. I know, at least it is for me. My number 9 tip to elevate your self-care is to live in gratitude. If you would follow one of my previous suggestions about volunteering or serving others, you will be able to see firsthand how there are lots of people that are living who are not as fortunate as you are. Sometimes being face to face with those types of situations is enough to make us grateful for what we have. Sure, you may not be where you want to be. However, you can be grateful with what you have, because there are a lot of people who don't even have that and wish they did have what you have. So just live every moment in gratitude. It's okay to be grateful for where you are while striving to be better. There's nothing wrong with striving to be better, but also just don't forget to be grateful for what you do have. Someone, somewhere wishes for that and would be happy with less than what you have. Number 10 tip that I have for elevating your self care is to be okay with not having to control the situation. This was a big one for me. I am not going to lie. Um, I'm a person where I really do like being in control. I like people doing what I say. I like things going how I plan them. I like being able to control the situation. Um, Not necessarily in a bad way, but I just like being in control. And I really had to learn that I could not control other people, that I could not control situations, and that ultimately I'm really not in control. It's okay to have a plan, but it's also okay to have a plan, but be okay with the plan not going according to the way that you planned it. What I was finding in my own life, and you may can understand this, but when I would plan out a day, and if the day didn't go exactly how I thought it should go, exactly how I planned it, I was so annoyed and so irritated, and I made the people around me really, really uncomfortable. Okay, let's just call it what it is. So I want you to be okay with not having control of every single situation. Be okay with letting people go, not people go, but letting things go, and just not getting so caught up on things going exactly according to the way that you thought that they should go, that you make a situation even worse. Are you starting to see that there are lots of ways to keep your cup full and to elevate your self care? I only talked about 10 tips today, but I have lots more. So we got plenty more videos to go. We are building a community here from scratch. So I would love to hear your thoughts. What are some ways that you keep your cup full? How is it that you are able to recognize when you need to refill your cup? What are some key things that happens to you um, to indicate that, hey, maybe it's time to fill my cup? Do you know what your purpose is? I would love to hear your story about how you discovered your purpose and what you're doing to make sure that you live in your purpose every single day. Remember, kindness matters here, so no disrespect or unkind behavior will be tolerated at all. I believe that the world is a negative place. The internet is can be very negative at times, and I'm not going to be a part of that type of community. My community here is going to be full of love, full of kindness, full of acceptance, and full of communication. Hey, we can disagree, but you have to do it kindly, or you'll have to show yourself the door, or I'll do it for you. If you've made it this far, thank you. I would love it if you would take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'm starting from zero, so I would really love. I do have 6 subscribers, so thank you, hey y'all. I would like it if you would subscribe, share it, leave me a comment, because I do believe in community, and that's what I'm trying to do, is build a community. Everything will be in my description, including where you can find me around the interwebs. I do have a website, which is www.thejackyreed.com, where you can, that's kind of a one-stop shop to find out about whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm up to. All of my links are all there. I do have a blog there as well that I post to occasionally. And I would love it if you would check it out. Let me know what you think. I also have a newsletter. It's called Glow and Go. It is a newsletter that I created a month or two ago, just to kind of give some tips, some continual tips to kind of elevate your life while you're on the go. So I would love it if you would subscribe. It is free for the monthly newsletter, but in January I will actually turn on paid subscriptions. It will be about $7 or $8 a month, and you will get not only weekly newsletters, but some other content that I will let you know about at a later time. Again, I'll leave everything else in the description box. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, thank you for being here. Make sure you like and subscribe, and leave me a comment as well. Let me know how I did on this video, okay? I got lots more videos coming. We'll do once a week for a while until I get used to doing that, and then maybe we'll upgrade to 2 videos a week. Thank you for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.